On behalf of your host, Steve D, this is Bruce Buffer saying thank you for tuning in to Xtreme Lyfe. And now, this is the moment Xtreme Lyfe fans around the world have been waiting for. It's time!
Hey, this is Steve D. I am here live in Jupiter, Florida with my man Josh Eccles, the Shark Guy. He's a great guy. Known him for a long time. I mean, Josh, we did some crazy dives this week, man.
Yeah, we have.
You know,
and we finally get to do a podcast together instead of online. So that's
instead of Zooming, right?
There
everybody's happy about that, right? So it's awesome to be out here, man. We were diving all week. You know, we saw we saw Patrick the tiger shark.
Yeah.
I mean, you got into shark diving a long time ago. I mean, what brought you there? What does your journey look like, man? How did you end up doing it? Because I love diving with you. It's like watching acrobatics with sharks and you're feeding. It's like a beautiful thing to see. And you love these animals. And what got you into it?
You know what? When I was really young, everyone always bags on SeaWorld and everything like that. If it wasn't for SeaWorld, I would have never gotten that experience. I grew up in Arizona, so I was in a landlocked area. So my parents used to always bring me to SeaWorld, and to this day, I've never seen a Shamu show. I just literally would go in there and stay in the shark exhibit from the second we opened until they closed. This was back when your parents could leave you alone for hours and
without worried about you getting taken away by.
So they would be like, all right, 5 o'clock, you'd be here. I mean, I asked every question under the sun. Those poor people at SeaWorld were probably like, just leave, kid. And then I went to St. Croix. I was working out there, and I was playing with Caribbean Reefs, and I was like, you know what? I could do this for a living. And then I started really looking into it. That's why I ended up in the Bahamas with Stewart Cove. I went to Hawaii, and I was doing it unofficially there. And now,
what does that mean?
Unofficially is pretty much I went by myself with a crate, and I was feeding pretty big tiger sharks, just hanging out, enjoying myself.
Guys, you want to cruise through?
You got a boat coming in?
Go ahead.
That's cool. Bring it on in.
It's all right.
That's what you get for being on a dock.
That's it.
You get live.
Hey, we got everything going on here today. It's all right, man.
Baby.
We got people moving around. It's all right. We love it here at Xtreme Lyfe. So
yeah. So then I started with Emerald Charters, and I got to work with Randy Jordan, and he really kind of showed me a lot of things that I wasn't aware of. And I might not be the scientific guy that could tell you every detail, but I could tell you their behaviors. I could tell you how they move. And my main goal with shark diving isn't the wow factor. It's to help them to show awareness in and out of the water. And also, I try my hardest to take as many shark or fish hooks as I can out of them.
Yeah, and you got a huge collection of fish hooks. I've seen them. I mean, and I've watched you take fish hooks out of bull sharks, tiger sharks. What shark might be? What do you think is the most difficult or most challenging thing about trying to remove a hook from a shark's mouth or something? I know, it can't be comfortable for the shark, and you're doing them a huge service.
Yeah, it's not that it's something hard. Just different species have different behaviors. So like male sharks, it doesn't matter what species, they tend to be more sketchy, more on edge. Females tend to be a little more relaxed and a little easygoing. I've got to get them comfortable, I'll feed them once, maybe twice, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of tonic on them so that they get familiarized with me grabbing onto them. Because when I grab onto them, I instantly am trying to take that hook out. I either am doing it by hand or I have pliers, depending on the size of the hook. It really depends on if it's hand or pliers.
Now, we saw one this week, and I also want to ask you about tonic, so don't let me go from that too far. But this week there was one we saw, and I almost was like, I could probably get it, but I didn't want to because it was so close to the eye. You know the shark I'm talking about, the lemon shark that's roaming around out there?
It's actually...
or is it a silky?
No, it's a lemon shark.
It's a lemon, yeah. I'm trying to remember.
What's happened is bycatch. They were either swimming by something and a fisherman had their line out, and what happened was it caught through the eye, and it just barely missed the actual eye to where they can see. I know one of the other boats were working on it. I know I've been working on it. I've been really trying to just get that hook out. I don't really want to mess with it too much because her
It's
vision,
so close to the eye.
yeah, her
that's what
vision's
scared
still
me.
good, and I would almost rather it rust out than us try to mess with it to try to get it out.
Now, will that happen eventually? The hook will just rust to the
No.
point where it'll fall out on its own? Or?
A lot of times people say that it rusts out really quick. That's why they're the #1 sellers. Those hooks don't rust.
Okay, yeah, they're stainless,
It
right? They're
takes
pretty much
forever.
Yeah.
It took, okay, let's put it this way. For me to take one out of Jenny, which is our big female, it took me 2 seasons to even get to her. And then even by the end of that second season, it was just barely rusted. When I say season, that's almost 2 years because they're only here a couple months out of the year.
Yeah. All right, so go back to tonic, right? What does it mean when you put it? I mean, we've seen it. You know, you do you rub the nose, and basically it causes like kind of like an electrical disruption, I think, in the shark, right? What is tonic, and how do you know when to do that, when not to do it? What does it seem
Now, to be honest with you, it's pretty much an overload of the senses. So it actually puts them in a trance to where, because sharks, their vision's really bad. So when they get close to you, they'll actually close their eyes and then they'll go off their senses, any kind of movement, any pulse in the water. So with that, once we rub it, it actually does like an overload. It actually calms them down for a second. There's some sharks that will do it like an overload. They'll be coming in really fast, and I'll grab them and do a little small tonic. They'll come in slower after that. It almost is like a relaxation for them. I don't really try to do it all the time because there's no reason to get them familiarized with that. And a lot of times you get a lot of these guys who do the tonic, and we do it to take out hooks. We do it to help
with a purpose.
There's a purpose. There's a lot of people out there that do tonic just because they're the cool man who's touching a big shark, which I don't agree with. I just why do that? Like, we're here for a purpose to help them, not just benefit us. You know, everyone's here to make a buck, but that's not what we want to focus on.
We want to create awareness, right? We want to create, these animals need our protection. They're not these, people often think, and one of the reasons we do what we do, and I've been down here with you guys, and I travel around and do a lot of shark diving, and I'll tell you what, when I'm down here with you guys, it's some of the most fun, great experiences I have, and I definitely suggest any diver come down here and dive with Emerald Charters, and Josh the Shark Guy, and you've been diving with Randy Jordan for years, right?
Almost 7 years.
7 years, so, come on through, man. You're good.
Thank you.
So, how did you meet Randy? I mean, because Randy's kind of a legendary shark, guy. He's been around a long time. What is it like working with Randy? And I mean, it's got to be amazing.
Working with Randy, it's difficult, but it's also no, it's not difficult in a sense. He just knows what he wants, and he knows how this has worked. We've learned a long time, learning curve, what works, what doesn't work, and there was a lot of things that he learned the hard way, and he really wanted me to learn that before I had to learn the hard way. So I actually found him just randomly, and I came down from New York, and I was like, I'm gonna come work for you, and he's like, yeah, okay. And I literally came and worked for him like the next week. So it was cool.
Come on through, guys. It's good. You're all good. Thanks. So we'll just do a little cutting. Creative cutting we'll do. Creative cutting. So you came down, he was like, yeah, you're going to come down here and work with me. And then you showed up, right? You showed up.
I showed up, and then he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, you're going to give me a job. And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, no, you are. I am here. So I showed up at the dock pretty much every day for like almost a month. Like, yeah, you're going to hire me. So finally he's like, all right, I'll give you a shot. And because I already had experience with sharks, he did teach me a lot, of course, but he didn't have to teach me from square one. So that was a huge step to help out.
Well, you had a kind of a leap forward on that, right?
And he's a super spring chicken. He's super young. So he needed assistance. He was doing this 7 days a week. Before I got here, 7 days a week he'd be out, rain or shine, out there. And I was like, no, that's not how you should be doing. You should enjoy yourself so you don't get burnt out on sharks, so we can help them.
Yeah, and you now are kind of the guy here and doing a lot of the diving and doing a lot of the shark work, and you're training other people now too, right?
Yeah.
I know, you got Liz on the boat now too, and you got other people that you're working with, which I think is great, like passing it along, passing
it's
on
like
that
passing
knowledge.
the torch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the more awareness we can, because, the people that I get to may not be the people that you get to. So if I could pass that torch and you could tell 2 more people, it's worth it. It's worth every second of it.
Yeah.
So I like at first everyone's like, oh, why are you training your competition? Well, if I train my competition right, it's not competition because we're on the same page. We're doing what we need to do to help sharks.
And it's creating a bigger network, right?
Yeah.
A bigger network of people carrying the same message, pushing along the same torch. And you guys have a lot of divers come. I think on the first day on the boat, we had 12 or 13 people.
Yeah.
And I always say this, it's got to be incredibly hard, because here's the thing, when you take people down and dive normally, and you have a bunch of different levels of divers, right? You have divers that are really good, you have divers that are not so good. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. But then then you have divers that are very difficult, and I think like me, I am. Let me tell you something.
We're gonna edit that part.
No, we're not gonna edit that. I am difficult. Josh yelled at me underwater. I could hear him cursing a mile away down there.
But again, I'm doing that for your safety, my safety, and the safety of sharks.
Absolutely.
Because if there's any kind of issue, all it's going to look bad upon is
the
sharks.
sharks.
It's not going to be us. They're going to be like, yeah, you're not so smart, But I would never want to put that shade on sharks.
Yeah, and like I said, I understood that completely, because you got a lot of people you're trying to manage. Some, like I said, are a little more difficult than others, and you got sharks swimming around all over the place. So it's like you got, as I was saying, in a normal situation, you have, sometimes it's difficult just on a normal reef dive, managing people of all different levels. I can't imagine what that's like, managing all these people in a shark situation, because now you have sharks in the water as well, and it's more of a, they're great animals. You and I both know, we dive with them all the time, and they're not out there looking for people to eat. But you're trying to make sure everybody stays safe, and flailing around, all that stuff can be a problem.
Definitely an issue. That's why I go through the briefing so in detail. Because a lot of times people go, I listen to the briefing partly. You don't listen to my briefing, you don't get in the water, that kind of thing. The reason is because it's so detailed. It's so what I need you to do. Because if I'm yelling at you, it's not because I'm trying to be a mean person. It's because
that's how I took it. I took it like
I want us the most excitement as possible. So if we move as one unit, I get to show you things unbelievably. But if it looks like a poop chute underwater, no sharks are going to come by us. So that's why I'm so get over, yelling, so that we keep those all right there.
Come on through, guys. So what do you think is the most difficult thing of managing all these divers underwater with the sharks and trying to keep it all? Because like I said, it's sometimes it's like, how do you keep all this stuff in keep track of everything and manage all that?
Now I can control how much action the sharks are doing and how much action we're getting with the sharks. So if it's a boat full of people that aren't so great, I might not bring them in as close. I'm still going to bring them in just as close as most. But if they look real scared, if it looks like a novice boat, I might keep them a little further away. With more advanced boat, I could get them pretty much like John Cena and be like right here,
in your face. Yeah.
So
which is where I like them, so I'm good with that.
It really depends on your comfort level and my comfort level with you. Because if I've dove with you over the years, I know your weaknesses, your plus, your flaws. So if you're just Joe Schmo, I might not give you those shots, but I'm still going to show you things that Nat Geo would never be able to.
You can't get that from a TV set.
In one dive, I can show you more awareness than Shark Week would ever do. And I get to have up to 7 species in one or two dives, and people go, I went to the Bahamas to see one, I went to Fiji to see one. Here, we just wait the year. Wait the year. All year we get different species all year long.
So talk about that. What is that? What seasons how do the seasons flow? What kind of sharks would you see, and when would you kind of see
Now,
them?
September, October, are kind of our slower months because our migration is a little bit slower. We still have them, but with the hurricanes and everything, it kind of messes with the pattern of our sharks. Any other month, so January, February, March is our bull months. We could have on one dive up to 30 bulls.
Yeah, and I've seen it. It's
and
amazing.
to have them come in, the bulls come in a pecking order. So you have the alpha come in, and they'll actually move all the other ones to kind of go into a pecking order.
Yeah.
Then during the summer, we have silkies, sandbars, scallop hammerheads. Springtime, we get tigers.
Which is what we saw.
Yeah, great
now.
hammers. Great hammers are fun to play with. Just their dorsal is, you know,
It's huge.
I'm 6 foot, 6'3", and the dorsals are this, and that's just their dorsal. So to see that, that's really cool. You know? And everyone thinks, oh, it's an alien shark, and I just enjoy.
Kind of looks like Dr. Seuss went crazy a little bit. But
Well, you know, God was making something and sneezed and was like, oh, okay, good enough, throw them out.
Absolutely, man. And it's awesome. I mean, so. And you know, you work a lot. You do a lot. You don't just do that, but you also work on other things. Like we just did a cruise with you. Do you want to push that out there?
Yeah, that's fine. I work at Love Street Outdoor Center. We do pretty much little guided tours on a pontoon boat. We do 30 minutes to an hour. We go all around Jupiter, and I get to kind of talk to people about
tour guide. Yeah.
Touring.
Yeah.
And then I also do an underwater show, not scuba diving.
Let's talk about this one, my man. This is the favorite part of the podcast right here.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
And I also do an underwater male burlesque show.
I love it, man. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's in Fort Lauderdale.
So you can see a lot of Josh.
Yeah, you get a lot more than you care to bargain for.
That's awesome. And then of course there's Emerald Charters.
Yeah, and then of course that's my
That's
home.
the main gig.
Yeah, like all these other things. If they said you could never come back, I'd be like, all right, whatever. If Emerald Charters told me I'd never come back, I'd cry that second and probably keep crying.
Yeah.
Because I just enjoy sharks. I enjoy seeing people go underwater and, you know,
Seeing their
everyone's
eyes
so
light up.
scared. And, you know, everyone just hears Jaws now. And then when they get in the water, like their eyes just open up. They realize that they're like an underwater puppy. They're just like, you got snacks? You got no? Okay.
Be careful. I got in trouble once for saying that. I got in trouble once for saying sharks are like cute water puppies. And I said that in an interview with I forget what it was, World Travel or something like that. And it was the headline. And then the comments underneath that were just like, "You're gonna die!" You know, it was just terrible stuff, man.
Well, you know, just like anything, you know, like I get quite a few letters a day every time I post a picture of me with sharks. Oh, you're gonna get eaten, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Probably not. Yeah.
No. Because every time, even, you know, anytime there is any kind of incident, it's just a quick little incident. It's nothing.
And it's not the shark. It's the shark. Yeah, most people actually get.
It's all user error, meaning us.
Yeah.
We're messing around. We're splashing around. We're causing things that we really don't need to. You're good. You're good.
You can go through. Yeah, go ahead, man.
See you, bud.
I always tell people that you got a better chance, even on a shark dive. Go ahead, guys.
Good night.
Good night. I always tell people that even on a shark dive, you have a much better chance of getting hurt on the boat than you do off the boat.
You have a higher chance of getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, I mean, a shark, and even when, like you said, you brought up the incidents, if there's an incident, it's user error. The shark isn't maliciously coming after you.
If there's
to
ever
eat you.
an incident, it's with us as a shark feeder.
Yeah.
Because how I explain it to people, it's like being a carpenter.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you
hit your
miss
hand.
and you hit your hand with a hammer. Every so often, you should have moved a little faster.
Should have got your hand out a little quicker, or you came in the wrong way, or you weren't paying. You know, you were trying to back somebody else up.
And it's never a shark issue.
Yeah.
You know, and it's never a safety issue. It's always just my error. And
or whoever the feeder is. And like I said, there's feeders out there that are feeding, and you know, the shark isn't maliciously coming in. The shark just wants the bait.
Yeah.
That's all the shark wants. Shark, and that's
again,
why it's so
that
important.
Movement. Like I could take the piece of bait and move my hand up and down like this, and the shark's head would actually move up and down with it. So, you know, that's what they're going after. So if I go like this and they're following it and I let go, then that's what they're going to go
They're going to go after it, right? And if you're not paying attention, well, then, you know, sometimes something bad can happen. And, you know, I mean, they got teeth, you know, keep your hands out of the sharp end. Yeah. Generally what it is. But, you know, and it's so important what you do, what people who come down here and patronize, you know, the shark feeding and the shark diving, people who do it. It's so important that people do this because we want to show people that sharks aren't trolling the ocean looking for people to eat. They're beautiful animals, and I would say, you know, if people tell me I'm nuts for doing this, I'm sure they say that to you. I'm positive they say that to you because you're in the water every single day. I do it a few weeks out of the year, but you're in the water like every day with these animals, and I'm sure people say it to you, and I say, you just don't know until you get in there. Once you get in there, you see a different side.
And once you get hooked, it's incredible. You can't, like, it's so hard for me to go and do a normal dive. Normal dive meaning like I go get on a reef and just float
Get
around.
bored as hell.
Here we have ripping current, so we're drifting. It's pulling me along. I don't have to do much, and then I get to see crazy things. I've had a whale shark swim up on me. I've had great whites swim up on me.
I was here when we had that white.
The Gulf Stream's right here, so people don't realize that when that Gulf Stream's swinging back and forth, things are taking little pit stops going, all right, let me go see, can I eat something over here, migrating, fornicating, whatever they do.
We see all that underwater. That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, hey, you know, I'm just excited. We finally made a live interview happen with you. We've done a couple on Zoom over the past couple of years.
It's just not the same.
But it's not. I mean, it's always fun. And I love coming down here, hanging out with you guys, and just you know, we do our thing, and we go out and we see a lot of sharks. We go out to dinner. We have a lot of fun out here. So I'm just happy, and I'm glad to know you as a friend, man. I'm so awesome to have you on. Can you tell people where they can find you?
You can
the burlesque show.
Ooh, burlesque. That's the rec bar, the ocean. No, you can follow me on Instagram, Josh the Shark Guy. Make sure you also check out Emerald Charters. Emerald Charters, you can book your trips, or you could just see what you might be entitled to see. A lot of people will follow our website, so when they're traveling, they know, hey, I might have a chance of seeing a tiger. I might have a chance of bull sharks, whatever it is. So that's another good reason to follow. And also, I put a lot of stuff out for awareness. So like if there's a shark meeting or something that we could help sharks out, I'll post that up there also, and you could help out. It doesn't matter if you're a landlocked area or if you're right by the ocean. Anything to help sharks. But that's it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, man.
I
love you, brother. Love having you on. All right, man.